All right. Hey, folks, we are doing a little bonus episode here, some bonus content. The prior episode, we ran out of time. We were talking about the MCP client that I was working on. And one thing that I wanted to highlight in there was tldraw releasing V4 of their SDK. And it has some really amazing starter kits in it. In particular, the agent starter kit is like an absolute must read for anybody that's working on agentic experiences, in particular ones that have like a cursor style sidebar where you have something in the sidebar that's controlling like the main part of the experience. So I'm gonna jump in, talk through that, and just show a quick demo. Like it's so well done and it's so powerful and such like a challenging domain that we thought it was worth spending a little bit more time to highlight. Right, so screen shared here, and real quick, because I thought I was mentioning it earlier, or showing it earlier, V4 of the tldraw SDK, check it out on the website. They have this list of agent or of starter kits. There's an agent one, a workflow one, branching chats. Actually got credit in the release notes there from a demo I did last year, which I thought was super cool. Just a big fan of the tldraw team. They create such cool, well, a really cool product and really cool content. And then here in the actual demo, we have tldraw set up. This is in the MCP client. You can draw shapes. You can select them, move stuff around. It's just a really, really good whiteboard. But what's particularly cool is they created this agent starter kit, and I'm just going to ask it to draw a smiley face. And here on the sidebar, you're seeing all of the niceties that you would want out of this experience. Like it's showing its work in progress thinking. It got my message, of course, and then it will actually manipulate the canvas. And in this case, it drew a line. Like, how do you get an agent to draw a line? If you ever worked on something like that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and it's proportional even, which is super impressive.
Yeah. Like the eyes fit there, everything just works. So like that alone, the visual reasoning in an LLM is wild. You can see the thinking process. The agent will create multiple to-dos and manage those internally. And then you get this accept and reject, kind of like a diff almost. And if you reject it, like we're going to lose the smiley face, we can re-accept it and it adds it back in, and we can just click back and forth. So the implementation that they've done behind the scenes to enable this is really neat. They essentially like stream in all the changes to the canvas and they can play them forward or backwards. Pretty cool. So next up, besides controlling like the main part of the application, the other thing that you really want in an experience like this is to be able to get context back to the agent. And so you can see here that I've selected the smiley face, and then down in the corner, they'll actually show that I have an active selection. So watch, if I clear that, that selection's gone. If I select it again, it comes back. And now I can say, make it sad. And it will know that I was talking about the smiley face, and it will flip that smile upside down. And here we have the diff of getting rid of this and accepting this. And now we have a frowny face. It's just magic. You can see all the twos that are tracked down here.
Can he draw a mustache on it?
It's
Little live demo.
Yeah, I haven't tested it. I've played around with it a little bit, but not as much as deserved. So I just saw a mustache flick in. And any of the UI issues here, that's so funny. Any of the UI issues in here, they're 100% from me porting it into the MCP client. I dropped a couple of things, so that's why there's that flicker. That's amazing. Cool. I mean, let's keep going. Like, let's give it a hair. Give it hair and full body.
So do they, in terms of the components that they're shipping here, are you pretty much just giving it an API key? Is that kind of all the setup that you have to do, or?
Yeah. The code for it is very robust and it's like very in depth. Wow, that's crazy. That's a really cool drawing. We can pull it up a little bit. Let me see if there's a good, just to give a sense of like what's included in here. So everything in this folder for tldraw agent is stuff that they ship in the starter kit. So they have like the core logic for the agent. I think this is yeah, all the definition. They have all of these components for managing the UI, like which this alone, like this is a lot. The prompt and how they build the system message. Where's the, yeah, there's different tool.
Yeah, I feel like there could be something worth exploring just in the tools that they're actually exposing here, because it seems like you could really go a bit crazy in terms of just the amount of flexibility that you're giving to the agent in terms of like what it can do, where it can place things. And it
Yep.
seems like, I'd just be very curious to understand what they've baked in here to give it like contextual awareness and all of that stuff. Like, what is the kind of the core pieces of data that are actually being plugged through? Like, is it just like vectors? Is it a full
Yeah.
like pixel representation of the image? Because that is just super impressive how well it can, draw things proportionally and place them uh, alongside existing elements. I'm just very impressed with that. And it's not just like image generation that you'd get from ChatGPT or
Yeah.
whatever, where it's just layering pixels on. These are actual, real, manipulatable entities that
Yeah.
can be moved around.
Like, how do they
Quite
get it so that
interesting.
way the neck was placed right there, and then the body, and then like the arms are at the same height, the legs are the same height, same width.
Yeah. And the way that it's just able to convert a pretty simple request of just add a body and arms, and it just kind of understands what those proportions look like from just a very basic description is pretty wild.
Yeah. Um, sorry, I just threw another one in there to see how crazy we can get it to go. They have a this architecture in here, which I think is useful. So user input, agent processing, canvas screenshot, which I think is really cool. So I think that's part of where it's getting the visuals from. But yeah, like, it's a 3-step process of collecting information that goes into the model, and then another shape analysis step, and then it finally gets the canvas updates. So whatever the magic behind these 3 steps, like it's really doing some impressive work. So I just gave it a really complex one. My botched UI is trip dropping all of the frames about what it's doing.
Do you know if they're hosting kind of any custom models, or is all of the actual agent logic running within this library? And it's truly just calling off to, in this case, the Claude Sonnet model
Yeah.
directly.
Yep. It is just Claude 4. Um, I do have this is where they do a slightly different. They use Cloudflare durable objects as kind of like the primary endpoint for this, and that was the one thing that I had to customize. So we might even be using. Hopefully, it's not actually using Sonnet 3.5. Yeah, so I have it hard coded as Claude 4 in here. That's just using like our regular API key. The There's one thing I wish I could find, which is the how they get like all the tool definitions in here. I wish I knew where it was off the top of my head, but I don't. Because it's like extensive, but they just it's just magic. They do some sort of they do a AI SDK generate stream text, and then they get the stream and reprocess it. So we're actually in nested in here. So they create a readable stream and get this stream and then do some reformatting. So they have this like actions structure. This is like an example of it. It's a good snippet, but they get that data and send it back. And so they do some like
Hmm.
custom JSON parsing in here and like continually emit those events back in a way that, well, I guess we'll just take another look and log out the specific text because it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so they do this is probably the most, like, it's a layer on top of using like the AI SDK, and they've done a lot of really cool customization here to make everything work so nicely. This is the cool thing about being able to open this up as a web app as well. So there's our 4 guys. That's funny. So we didn't quite get like a walking animation out of it, but they created 4 of them.
Well, the legs are kind of moving
Oh
up
no,
and
you're
down.
right. Yeah, that's so cool. Uh, let's do a quick test.
Yeah, that's kind of insane that it was able to recognize those specific elements as legs as well. You know, maybe not the most impressive output, but the way that it identified them and knew those were the specific parts to move is it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're in the web browser version of MCP client. Asked it to create a workflow diagram. This would be way too crazy to watch. Um, client. Oh, we're getting logs from the browser as well. So sorry, this is gonna be unhelpful. Also, maybe we could just see the text as it's emitted, but we roughly get like a sense of kind of how they have this. It's a type of action they're doing a create an intent. So maybe that's a something that they found the model to perform better if it includes that. The shape that they're sending, whether it's complete or not. Do we have any non-creates? So look at that. Like, what a great workflow diagram. Let's do that. So I think we should get some more updates out of this. Yeah, let's stop scrolling. So then we get this type update with like the particular data. Oh, that's updating a to-do list. So they have all these different actions that the agent can take, and they have it nested in this type that then does something. So updating the to-do list, updating. Oh, that was a partial stream. Sync. That's kind of cool. Yeah, here we go. Update to-do list. Update the action. Update the object. So it's just like I feel like I learned so much just trying to integrate this and like seeing how they approached it. Like the output is incredibly impressive, and then yeah, just walking through all of the care and thinking that went into creating it is really neat. It's cool that it's all publicly available.
Yeah. And it's nice to start seeing more of these agents that are performing more specific tasks that aren't just like manipulating text. It feels
Yeah,
like that is such a big gap right now. And like I said before, you can generate images and videos. Those just kind of become static assets once they're produced. Where this is truly like a living, non-textual environment, I guess, that it can kind of continually manipulate and iterate on without just, I guess, reproducing the entire thing like it would with video or text, or not text, video or images. So
yeah,
very, very cool to and to just have this open source, because it seems like there's a lot of folks out there that are, claiming that they're getting really good results out of agents, but maybe are a bit guarded about sharing their solution, whether
yeah,
that's because it just doesn't actually work as well as they say it does, or because they actually have some true valuable business secret that they're trying to keep. I don't know. It's
yeah,
just really nice to start seeing more concrete examples of, in this case, like a very reputable dependency that I imagine there's probably thousands of projects using, and then being like, well, this is how, here's a way that works, and we'll give it to you essentially for free to go mess around with.
yeah,
I'd love to start seeing more of that, just really good examples to pull from.
yeah, yeah. Like this is best in class. The incremental updates. It's not a one shot. I feel like that's kind of what you're getting to with like the image
Exactly.
and video is like it's an iterative process, and like doing the updates iteratively is also really cool. So I feel like the structure that they've put here, change the canvas, change the actions definitions, but like the underlying engine and how they approached it would work in essentially any app.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
cool. That's 15 minutes for a bonus episode.
Yeah.
So, unless you've got something else, I think this is really cool to kind of dive into on its own. And I'd love to, maybe in a future episode, we can explore if you find a way to really incorporate this in your workflow. We can review some of those examples further down the road as well.
Yeah, totally. All right. That's a wrap.
Cool. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye.